All right, and with that, we're going to save it. All right, so we took care of his front door. And what else does he have there? Let's open that up again. And we're going to go back up into this area here. And he had some double pane windows. He had 2 windows on the bedroom. And they were 32 inches. And the height was 52 inches. And he had, excuse me, he had 2 of those in the front. And then, because we're putting in windows, he also had 2 of them on the side of the house, on the east side. He had 2 on the west side. And on the south side, he had 2. So if we look at our notes, which would be in front of us, I normally put north, south, east, and west. And I'm putting in the windows, the doors, whatever I find on that side of the house. So now we're into the double-sided or the double pane windows that he has in the house. And they're 32 by 52. And the total he has is 8. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 2 on each side. So he's got 8. So I'm going to change that to 8. Okay. And I don't know why they have percentage glass. I guess that would be, well, 90% glass. If it's already populated, I'm sorry. It's already populated. I never noticed that till just now. So that there I'm going to save. And so we've got his door in the front. We've got the 32 by 52 windows. But we open this back up and we're going to pull out another double pane window. And that double pane window is a 36 by 36, and he has 1 of them. And where that's located is in the back of the house. That was his bathroom window. He's got 1 of those. Again, we're just putting in windows. We don't care what side of the house or where they are. We're putting in windows. And then we save. All right, we go back in here. And besides that, he actually has a slider in the back of the house that goes out to a nice little deck. So we're going to open this up and we're going to look. Oh, that becomes a door, a glass slider. So we're going to slap that. And we're going to say it's 72 inches wide. And the height of it is, we're going to go 80 inches again. So it matches the front door. And he's got 1 of those. So he's got 1. We're all set on that. And now we're going to hit save. So there's all his doors and windows in this house. He's got a regular solid door with 10% glass in the front. He's got double pane windows around the house, basically 2 on each side at a 32 by 52. And the south side of the house in the back, he's got a 36 by 36 bathroom window. And then in the back of the house, just coming off the deck, is a nice slider, 72 by 80 inch. So now we have all basically the openings in those walls. Those 4 walls that are surrounding this house has the openings in them. Whether it be a bathroom window, a kitchen window, these are all the openings. So now, at this point, we're all set with this. We will come back over here, and now we will put all of this information into the walls. So now let's start with the walls. Again, we had a backtrack, but it makes it a lot easier trying to do this here than it would be to put the walls in first, because it never populates correctly. So now, wall number one. Wall number one is going to be the north wall, which I always have as my front of my house. So the north wall. And as we mentioned, the width of the house was 40 feet. The height was 8 feet. And then we come over here, an existing R value. Now is what is in the walls for insulation. And basically, they didn't put nothing in the wall, so we're going to leave that as 0. The framing is going to be a 2x4 finished siding. Because it's just a... Now, when we say finished siding, this here can be vinyl siding, clapboards, it could be cedar shingles, but this is 2x4 finish with siding. It's not stucco, it's not brick or anything like this here. It's this is normally the measure or drop down that you would click on. If it was a brick finish front, which some have the facade of having a finished front that's in brick, then of course you would tap on the brick one. But this is a everyday normal ranch house. Matter of fact, the guy does have vinyl siding. He has a red vinyl siding, which I didn't particularly like when I was there. And I tried to talk him into putting white vinyl, but he has nice bright red vinyl siding. So there's his siding. Then now at this point, where we got the windows and doors now, we got to put all the windows and doors that are on the front of the house, the north side of the house. So at this point, we will click here, and we have our drop down. And what did he have? Well, the first door I put in was the 36 by 80 door, which is his front door. And if you notice, it runs out 36 by 8, and he has one of them. That's correct. So I'll add that. What else did he have in the front of the house? He had 2 windows. So we'll add new. I'll come back over. And let's see, he's on window number 1, I thought it was. And window number 1 was the 32 by 52. Now, if you notice, I got 8 there, but he's only got 2. So I'm only going to add 2 windows there. So I'm going to back off that 8, and I'm going to replace it with a 2. And then I'm going to hit save. So now we've put the dimensions of his house, the 40 by 80, what location it was, basically the front of the house. He's got no insulation in it. And this here I thought I had put in. All right. Now, buffered zone. A buffered zone would be like if it was attached to the garage or something like this here, like an inside buffered wall. But we're talking the front of the house, so there's no buffered zone there. All right, so we've got all of this information in place. So now, what do we do with this? We want to add some measures to the wall. Because what we've done is we've placed holes in his wall by putting the door and the windows in. So now we've got a door and 2 windows stuck in front of his house. So now we need to insulate it. So we go into wall measurements, measures I should say, and we come to the drop down. And what are we doing here? Ooh, plaster patch. All right, they got some more stuff in here. They changed every day. So what we want to do, Boston, shut up. What we want to do is we want to dense pack the walls with R13. That's the normal R value that we put in a sidewall. So we do it with cellulose, so it's R13 dense pack wall. So I'm going to click on that, and it automatically gave me the square footage of that amount of insulation. Now it would have been the 40 by 8 would have been 320, but what they did is they took the difference in the square footage for both those windows and the door. So what we're actually doing is we're putting in 276.89 square feet of insulation. So then at that point, I'll save it. All right. And then I'll save enclosed on the bottom. That took care of wall number 1. So now, we got 3 other walls to do. We're going to do the same exact thing. Now the way this is set up is north, south, east, and west. I'm going to click on my south wall, which is now the backyard wall. It's going to be the same size as the front, 40 by 80, so I don't even have to touch it. We come over here, the existing R value, again, is nothing. There's nothing in the wall. We've already got the framing. So all of this stuff stays the same until we get to the sidewalls, and then we'll be changing it. So now we got to add those windows again that we've already populated before. So now I'm going to drop down on this. And, well, we don't have a door number 1 because we use that in the front. But we do have a door number 2, which is that slider, if you remember. And that slider was 72 by 80, and we have one of those. So we're going to add that. Pink. So that's added. Then we're going to go back in here and add some more. So now we're looking for his windows. And we know, and he has the window number 1, which is the 32 by 52. There's 2 of those in the backyard there, in the back bedrooms. So we're going to back that off, that's 6, and put it to 2. If you notice, it automatically subtracted the 2 I use in the front. So it only left me with 6 that I could use. So now I'm subtracting 2 of those because I'm adding them to the back wall. And I'll save it. And also, in the back, we have another window. We'll pull that down. We got window number 2, which is the bathroom window. And that's the 36 by thing. And we only have one of those because that's all we need. So then we're going to add that. So now at this point, we've added all of the holes, again, for that back wall. We've added the slider. We've added those 2 bedroom windows, and we've added the bathroom window. So now we've just put holes in that wall with these windows and door. And now we're going up to the wall measures, and we're going to insulate it. So with that, we're going to hit the drop down. And now what are we going to do with this? The same thing we did with the front. We're going to look for R13 cellular DP dense pack wall. We're going to click on that. And again, that's going to automatically take out for those holes in the walls. So we're only putting in 247 square feet of insulation. And we're going to save that. And then we're going down to save and close. And now we've taken care of the north wall and the south wall, which is front and back. Now we're going to go to the side. We're going to click on that. And now we're going to wall number 3. Let's see. And that's going to be the east side of the house. Now, if you remember, the house was 40 feet by 20 feet. So with this width, it's not 40 feet now, so we got to change that to 20. It's still 8 feet tall. We still have no insulation in the wall, and it's not buffered to the garage or anything. So now we're going back down here. We're going to add those windows, those 2 windows that are on the side. So we're going to here. And those 2 windows on the side were the same as the other ones. They were the window type number 1. And we're going to come over here. and we see we have 4 left. We only need to use 2, so back that off. Put 2 on there. Come over, save it. So now we put 2 holes in the side of that house. So now we're going to come back over and we're going to insulate it. So now we're going to click on that. We have the measures again. We're going to drop that down, swing all the way down, and we're going to look for the cellulose dense pack R13. There it is, bang. And that's only going to be 136.89 square feet. And we're going to save it. And then we'll come down here, save and close. Now we've got 3 walls done already. We're going to put the 4th wall. If not, the building falls down. So now we're going into building wall number 4. It's not on the east. It's not in the south. It's not in the north. It's on the west side. So west side, of course, the height is the same, 20 feet in width by 8 feet high. Again, it has no insulation. And it's not buffered or anything like this. So now we got to put those 2 windows in. So we go down to windows and doors. We add new windows and doors. We click on this, and that was window number 1, which was a 32 by 52. And of course, we only have 2 left because that's all we need to put in. We save it. So we're all set on that. Oh, wait a minute, did I insulate it? Oh, yes, I did. No, I didn't. All right, I did the last one. Sometimes you're talking and you forget what you did. So I saved those windows in the measures. So now we want to insulate the house. So I'm going to run down here, and I'm going to look for R13 cellulose dense pack. I'm going to click on that. Again, it should be the exact same as the other one, 136.89 square feet. We're going to save it. And save it and close. Boom. So now you've taken care of all the walls. You've put in all the windows, all the doors that are around the perimeter of that house. And you've insulated each wall. And down here, for example, it's highlighted, wall number 1 there in the red. Shows red on my phone and green on the screen. But anyways, that's highlighted. If you go down here, this is tell you what you're doing to that wall. Now, if I click on wall number 2, this is what's in wall number 2. So each of these, you can see what's in each one. And as we go through, there might be a measure that I can click on that'll show multiple things in that particular section of what we're doing. All right, so now we're back here again. So we know we did the windows and doors because we did that before the walls. Now we go into basement. The basements can be a little tricky, and I don't want to get you guys confused. So what I'm going to do is what's a normal type of basement. In the section here, the section, we have adiabatic floor surface, basement above grade, basement below grade, basement ceiling, all of these cantilever floor. What we want to, you got slabs and so forth. So what we want to do is we want to hit conditioned basement complex. That's 90% of your houses. This is what you'll be putting in for the most part. I'm not going to say 90. 75% of the houses, this is what you're going to be picking as a basement. So we're going to click on that. And we have above grade wall. Let me drop that out as far as the framing. we have above grade wall, we got basement slab, below grade basement wall, and the sill joist. So right now we're picking this above grade wall for now to work on that. And that's basically on top of the mud sill. You know, well, think of it as being outside. You're looking at your foundation. You got your grass, and then you got the beginning of the house being built. How much of that foundation is sticking up out of the ground? And normally it's basically 2 feet. So what we have to do now is we have to figure our lineal footage around the house. And we're looking at, what, a 40 by 20, which is 60 feet. And, of course, we got both sides of that. So that's going to be 120 feet perimeter, lineal perimeter width of that house. So if you go and measure the back of the house at 40 feet, the side at 20 is 60, the front is another 40. So that's 100, and then 20 down the other side, so it is 120 feet. So now the height of that above ground wall is normally 2 feet. That can change, and that's why you have to populate it. But most of the time it's going to end up being 2 feet tall is what normally your foundation wall is. Then as you come over here, there's no insulation on that foundation wall outside, so that will always stay 0. Then you have a thermal boundary. What the thermal boundary is your basement walls. I don't know why they just don't have that populated, but you have to populate it. And then this here you'll end up having to hit later on. It doesn't let you do it now for some reason, but this here you'll end up hitting your framing above grade walls at the very end of all of this. So now we want to save it. So that took care of your above grade walls. I'm going to pull your drop down again or add new. You're going back into the section and you're going right back down to conditioned basement complex. And then your framing. Now, if you notice, now we just eliminated those sidewalls. Now we're in the basement slab. So we're going to click on basement slab. And we're going to go over here. And how big is the basement slab? Well, it was 40 feet by 20 feet. Because the basement doesn't get smaller. It stays the same as your house. So it's 20 by 40. That is it. That's all you have to put on this. Just your basement slab. It's a 40 by 20 house. You come down here, close and save. So now you got above grade wall, you got the basement slab. Clicking on this again. We're going back again to the conditioned basement complex. And then we're going to the framing. Now it's below grade basement wall. All right, so now we're down in the basement. We're looking at our side walls in the basement. That's your below grade wall. Now we already established that the width around the building was 120 feet. So they didn't change that, so it's 120 feet. How tall is the wall downstairs? We're going to say it's 7 feet tall from the slab floor right up to where the rafters start. 7 feet. So now we've populated that with 7 feet. Are we going to do any measures there? Nope, absolutely not. There's nothing we're going to do there. Save and close. So now you've got your above grade, you got your basement slab, and then you got your walls in your basement. We got one more. We're going to click this, go back into your condition complex. And the framing, there's only one left, and that is the sill joist or the mud sills. Right? That's your mud sill. So you're going to click on that, And the width. How wide is the mud sill? It's going to go all the way around the basement, so it's going to be 120 feet. And how high is the mud sill? We've been normally putting 1 foot, but to be more accurate, they're actually saying it's 0.8 is your mud sill, the height of your mud sill. So you put 0.8, and again, 120 feet, 0.8 gives you 96 feet of mud sill. So now you've got that. You will go up to selected measures, because now you got to put something in there. And we're going to open this up, and we're going to start looking. And it's way down here, and it's all the way down the very bottom. And you can see sill insulation, 2-inch high-R board with spray foam. So they're going to cut the 2-inch high-R board, shove it in between the mud sills there, and then they're going to caulk around it. So we're going to pick that. And of course, the square footage is 96 feet. Now, if I would have put that the height was a foot, then of course it would be 120 feet. But we took off 0.4 inches of that, so it brings us to the 96 square feet. And with that, we're going to open. The phone is ready to slide on my hand.